And yeah, in the last session, what topic we covered? I think the DynamoDB, right? Elastic Cache and Redshift. Okay. So in the today's session, let's talk about a CloudWatch, a service called a CloudWatch. Any idea about like what might be this CloudWatch is? Any idea? Actually, this CloudWatch is, I mean, in a simple words, the CloudWatch is a monitoring tool. I mean, we should not say monitoring tool because not only for the monitoring, we can use this for many purposes. So monitoring thing, alert to alert something, right? So we can call it as an alerting service also, and observability, right? So we can say Amazon CloudWatch is a monitoring, observability, and alerting service for AWS on-premise or for a hybrid environments also. What exactly it does? It collect metrics. What is a metric? CPU utilization, disk utilization, network utilization. These all are known as a metrics. It collects the metrics, also the logs, to help us monitor the resource health, application performance, and operational issues if there is any. How we can say it is going to help us? Let us say if there is no such kind of a monitoring system, and if your instances are utilizing more than like 90% of CPU, then the performance will slows down, right? In such cases, this CloudWatch will monitor it. Based on the alerting mechanism, we can create an alert to receive an alert whenever the CPU utilization is beyond the threshold value, so that immediately we will be notified and we can act accordingly to reduce the utilization or to improve the performance. Okay, let me write down a few points here. So Amazon CloudWatch is a monitoring, observability, and alerting service for not only for AWS. You can use this to monitor on-prem services. Also, you can use it for both AWS and on-premise, which we call it as a hybrid environments. What exactly it does is it collects metrics, logs, events, like from event viewer events, and to help you monitor the resource health, application performance. One second. Application performance and operational issues in the real time, like live logs we can watch, live metrics we can monitor right now, how much CPU utilization is there and all, everything we can. If you go for an EC2 instance, there are two types of monitorings available: basic monitoring or a default monitoring, and the second one is detailed monitoring, right? I will explain that. In the meanwhile, I use a term called a metric, right? What exactly the metric is? What is a metric? Already I mentioned, right? Metric is the resource on your instances, like what we call that it will collect the numerical data over a time about CPU utilization, memory, disk, network, or whatever you want. And coming to these metrics, there are two types of metrics available: default metric and a custom metric. Let me write down that. Metric is the resource which we are going to monitor. Like example, like CPU utilization, network utilization, etc. And on AWS CloudWatch, there are two types of metrics available. First one is a default metric. The second one is custom metric. Default metric in the sense whenever you create an EC2 instance, CloudWatch will start monitoring few metrics. Those are the default metrics like CPU utilization, network utilization, disk input and output operations, right? These all are the default metrics. Custom metric means the one which is not monitored by default, that you can configure to collect such information, especially RAM memory. By default, with the help of a default metric, Amazon CloudWatch cannot collect the information about your memory utilizations. Default metric, like what we call that, by default the information which is getting collected, the default information which is collected by CloudWatch. Whereas the custom metric, we need to configure to collect the information about the non-default metrics. Example, memory utilization, etc. You need to configure how the custom metrics can be configured with the help of a CloudWatch agent. By default, default metrics are collected without any additional agents to be installed in the instances. Whereas to collect the custom metrics, we need to install CloudWatch agent. We need to install a CloudWatch agent. What it does, in the CloudWatch agent, we will configure, there is a configuration file in which we will mention what all we need, like memory utilization, etc. Then this agent continuously sends the data to the CloudWatch service. By default, it can't. We need to install the CloudWatch agent for custom metrics. Also, the CloudWatch metrics can be, in the CloudWatch, we get dashboards, alarms, etc. Because it is an alerting system, CloudWatch also act as an alerting system where it can generate an alarm. We can create an alarm. Based on the threshold value, it will trigger the alerts. What is the dashboard? Dashboard is a console where you can view all the required information. Like if you observe the car dashboard, right? There's a car dashboard in which you can see multiple consoles like fuel meter, speedometer, RPM meter. Everything is placed in a single location where you can easily observe everything, right? The same way, you can create a dashboard and you can include what it should display. There are like 100 different metrics about 100 different servers, but I can configure a dashboard only to display the CPU utilization of production servers. So if I open that dashboard, I can see the CPU utilization of all the production servers with the different colors, right? And then CloudWatch also provides log collection feature, which means we can store the logs using CloudWatch log group. Means what exactly it is? We can store the logs of your application in CloudWatch using log groups. Let me explain what exactly it is. So here there is an EC2 instance, right? And where it is, okay. There is a EC2 instance. Let us say it can be a Windows or Linux. That doesn't. Let us say Windows, so that we can easily understand, right? Okay, it is going to be the Windows server, right? And in this Windows server, we will be having a CPU, RAM, I mean hardware. Then on top of that, you will have a storage. On top of that, you will be having operating system in which you install a software called Apache software, right? Okay, so here in this particular server, there is a CloudWatch service. Let us say this is the CloudWatch service. By default, it can monitor the CPU utilization. It can monitor the network utilization. It can monitor your disk operations, disk input and output operations. It can monitor a number of things. Okay. Now, in your EC2 instance, especially if it's a Windows, here we are going to have a logging system called Event Viewer, right? Event Viewer. And for Apache also, there is going to be something called HTTPD log, some log file, right? Where it can capture all the information about the Apache software. So if whenever I want to see how my application is behaving, I have to log into this EC2 instance. I need to go to that particular location, right? And then I need to open the log file and I need to check. But in the CloudWatch, we have a concept called log groups, by using which you can send all the logs to these log groups. So instead of logging to the EC2 instance, just you can go to the CloudWatch, you can click on the log group and you can observe what is happening in your server with the help of the log files. But now there is a question. Let us say I have three different servers. I have three different servers. If I collect all the logs into a single folder, what happens? I can't identify which log file belongs to which server and all, right? For that reason, first thing we will be having a log group under which we are going to have a log stream. We are going to have a log group and then we're having a log stream. So here what I can do is, first I will create a log group called a Windows servers. This is the log group. All the Windows servers logs will be collected in this particular log group. But what I do is I will create a separate log stream, server 1, server 2, server 3. These are known as log streams. What does that mean? This particular information will be stored here, this information here, and this information here. But we don't write the namings in this way. What we do is, we will say production servers, server 1, server 2, server 3, right? Or this is one way, or we can create in this way also. Server 1, right? In which we are going to have a log streams like system events, security events, Apache log, database log. Like for every server, I can create a log group and then I will create a log stream for each category. In one log stream, I can store the information about the security events. In one log stream, I can store the application events. In one log stream, I can store the database logs. In another log stream, I can store the web server logs. It depends on your convenience, how you feel that you need that EC2 instance, the CloudWatch to log and all the things. This is what the log collection. So CloudWatch is not only a monitoring system, it is a log collection service where we can collect the logs from different servers in a single centralized location. If you ever heard about a Splunk, that is one log monitoring service. log collection service or something, we can say Splunk. Most popular tool where all the data will be collected so that multiple servers information will be available in a single place. And then something called paper trial. This is also the logging service where you can collect all the information at a single place. This is how it looks like. Even no need to log in, just you can log in there and you can see, right, there is something called filtration service where you can filter with the server name. So server name, HA proxy, log informations, farm trivia 72 server, app, web 1, just you can see all the information in a console. And there is something called New Relic. That is also a log monitoring system. I don't know whether they provide any sample screenshot or something. Okay, like this, you can see by clicking on that, just you can see like from here, there is advantage also. You can create again some kind of alerting systems in the log file. If something found like crashed, service got terminated unexpectedly, immediately it will create an incident and an email alert will be triggered and you have to work on that to resolve that issue. So there are different log monitoring services available, and the CloudWatch is also act as a log collection service. Okay, right. So already this afternoon, I created multiple servers, just a brand new Windows servers. Let me go show you. And okay, especially on the EC2, on any instance, on the instances, there are two types of monitorings available. One is default monitoring, and the second one is detailed monitoring. What is the difference between these two are, especially on the EC2 instance? Information will be collected for every 5 minutes. Means every 5 minutes, the information will be collected from the server. If something went wrong at 6:33, that will be updated in the CloudWatch at 6:35 every 5 minutes. Whereas the detailed monitoring information will be collected for every 1 minute with respect to EC2 instances. And the default monitoring is free of cost. Whereas the detailed monitoring is available at extra cost. Detailed monitoring, and few times we call it as enhanced monitoring. Both are same. If someone says enhanced monitoring, don't get confused. That's nothing but the detailed monitoring. So to get the information immediately, we need to enable always enhanced monitoring. On the real, in the production environments, we don't use the default monitoring. We only use the detailed monitoring. So here I have a 3 EC2 instances running in the Northern Virginia region, server 101 and server 102. These two were created this afternoon, and on both the instances, I enabled enhanced monitoring. How to enable enhanced monitoring? The first thing, you can enable at the time of instance creation, or you can enable once the instance got created. How to enable at the time of instance creation? If you scroll down to the advanced details, at the time of creating the EC2 instance, see here, detailed CloudWatch monitoring, you need to enable. And you can see additional charges apply. Additional charges apply for enabling the detailed monitoring. There is a one way. Let us say you created the EC2 instance without enabling the detailed monitoring. Then you need to select the EC2 instance, click on monitoring tab here, manage detailed monitoring, and you need to enable this one. You need to enable this particular one. Okay. Now, so anyways, these two servers were like almost like 4 hours old. One server is like almost like 2 3 days old or 4 3 4 days old. So let us check how a CloudWatch dashboard looks like and how to monitor the default things. So first thing, navigate to the CloudWatch console and observe the metrics of existing EC2 instances. Like CPU, let us observe CPU utilization of all the three EC2 instances one by one. Okay. Right. So how to do that is in the search, just type CloudWatch. Navigate to the CloudWatch service. This is the home page, right? So here on the left side, you can see something called all metrics, right? All metrics. Click on that all metrics. And here you can see the categories, what metric you want to monitor. What metrics we want to monitor? I want to monitor EC2 instance, CPU utilization, right? Okay. So where just try to check each and every service. So EC2 here, right? Right. Let me click on the EC2. Now I want to monitor the metrics of per instance, individual instance metrics. Click here. Now for which server, let me check for server 101. So here, let me check where is the server 101, because we have created a lot of EC2 instances and we deleted, right? Okay. So what I do is let me filter. Oh no, not filter. Let me, yeah, server 102, right? How many metrics you can see for server 102? Up to here, right? Up to here you can. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19. So almost 19 default metrics are getting collected. What all metrics? See here, CPU utilization, EBS byte balance percentage, how much storage space, kind of percentage space left. EBS write ops means how many write operations per second is happening, how many read operations per second, how many bytes of data is getting written, how many network packets coming inside, how many network packets going out, how much network going out, how much, like how many is different, how much is different, like how much data, GB, MB, how many, 10 packets, 20 packets, 30 packets. So these all are the default metrics. So if you want to monitor the CPU utilization of server 102, select this metric here, right? Here you can see some graph. Okay. So here there is a tab called graphed metrics. What it is showing? It is showing EC2 CPU utilization. Statistic is average over a period of 5 minutes. But I want to check per minute, average in each minute or maximum. You can change what exactly you want to monitor. This is not a configuration. Just selecting the filter so that it will display. Okay. Now, how much CPU is getting utilized? So here it's about like 3.9. And these all are timed metrics, means whenever you see some value you can see the time also. What is the time? 19th November 2025, 12:21 UTC, not Indian time, it's a UTC. So I want to change that into local time, local time zone. Now you can see the local time here. Right now the CPU utilization is 2.76. Now what I do is I want to observe how the CPU is getting increased. If the CPU is getting increased, I want to monitor, right? Okay, that also you can monitor. So for that, what I do, I will log into that server 102. I will log into server 102 because there's a t2.micro. So I will perform some actions. So immediately the CPU get increased, right? Let us see. The same concept we use to get the alerts and all. Okay, right. So key pair. Okay, here is the password. I'm logging in into the EC2 instance just to increase the CPU utilization. We will see. The moment once we log in, automatically the CPU utilization will get increased because we are getting just one CPU, 1 GB of a RAM. Okay, let it get loaded. We minimize. Let me open the CloudWatch. See, somewhere it got spiked to 4. It is auto refreshed. Every 10 seconds, it will get auto refreshed. The dash, this particular matrix graph will be auto refreshed. Okay, this is the EC2 instance. Let us completely log in. And how can we increase? Let me install a browser or let me open multiple tabs. So CPU will get increased, right? Because my server will be busy. Okay. Let me open the Microsoft Edge. I will do one thing. So here also, system is too slow because the one CPU, 1 GB of memory. It got struck actually. No worries. Okay, so I opened the Edge browser, and in the taskbar, not on my machine, in the EC2 instance, I will open the task manager also, where we can monitor what is the CPU utilization and everything. But in the real time, we don't use this, right? Because we need to get everything in a centralized location. That is what the CloudWatch. Okay, let me perform some actions so that the CPU utilization will get increased, and we will see whether the CloudWatch is capturing that information or not. Or you can do any action. There is no point that only you have to open the Edge browser or you have to perform these actions. You can do anything. So here is the task manager on the right side. I will click on more details, and okay, let me pull aside. Okay, what is the CPU utilization? 47%. Earlier, before logging in, the CPU utilization was just 4%. Okay, it is getting reduced. Okay. And here, what I do is, I will open multiple tabs in the browser. I selected the browser and I am pressing Control T. What it does? It opens a new tab. I'm pressing the Control T continuously, where my EC2 instance is busy in creating the new tabs. See? Almost we touched 100% CPU. Okay, now I will stop it. I stopped clicking Control T, I mean new tab. Still, I have pressed like almost like 50 to 60 times. There are some actions in the queue, and my EC2 instance will execute all the actions. Then the CPU utilization will comes down. You can see, right? The CPU is 100%. Now I will close that browser so that my system CPU will be free. Right? We need to identify that spike and all the things. We will see that. Okay. Right. So we have to wait for 1 minute. In the next 1 minute, that information will be captured by this CloudWatch. That information will be captured by the CloudWatch. Can you see? It increase to 60 something. Then you can see 90, then 100, and then it will drop down. See how much it is here? If I hover the mouse over there, 67.3511%. This is how the CloudWatch will be useful. Okay. And also I said a dashboard, right? Dashboard is the place where you can see all the information. But here, if you want to monitor every time, you need to go over there, you need to select these and right. But you can create a dashboard with all the required metrics. I will show you that also. Create a dashboard to view the CPU utilization of all production EC2 instances. You might have 100 EC2 instances, but I would like to create a dashboard which can only display the CPU utilization of production servers. Right? If I display the testing servers and everything, there's unnecessary things, right? So we can create in that way also. How? So just navigate to the CloudWatch service, right? And here there is an option called dashboards, right? Click on the dashboards. There are some automatic dashboards where Amazon might suggest you, okay, these are the dashboards, best suitable dashboards for EC2 and all, but they might not align with our requirements. So always I go with custom dashboards, and dashboards are chargeable. I think one or two dashboards are free. If you create more than that, definitely they are chargeable. Click on create dashboard. I will give a dashboard name as production instances. Means here it will display the information about only the production instances. This is the dashboard, empty dashboard, no widget. This is an empty dashboard. Like you have a car where there is a dashboard in which there is no speedometer, no fuel indicator, no RPM meter, no distance traveled, nothing. Now we are going to add the widgets. One widget for CPU utilization, one widget for disk utilization, one widget like meters for each and every metric. Let me click on add a first widget here. Data source from the CloudWatch. I would like to have a line graph in the line format like this. Next, what all? Like EC2 per instance metrics. And here I'm planning for CPU utilization. So let me apply metric name search, just simple search contains CPU utilization. So it will only display the CPU utilization metrics of all servers. See, instead of selecting all, I only selected 3 and click on create widget like this. Then save it. And then let me add one more line. Next, this time what we will add, let me go with EBS per volume metrics. What exactly I want to is read operations, volume read operations. Let me add a filter. Metric name contains um, volume read ops. Uh, okay. I don't know what are the named volume IDs, right? Let me check the volume IDs. What volumes you would like to monitor, right? Let me go to the EBS volumes to get the volume ID of all those 3 EC2 instances. One is 66F2, right? 66F2. Where is the 66F2? What happened? Okay, I will do one thing. Here is. Let me add the other two also. Instead of searching one by one, just I'm adding the filters. So it only display the information about those two. Volume ID contains. Okay. Which one it is? EB6. Okay, let me add. Then this one. Let me add. Okay. Now let me add the third also. So what I'm doing is the volume ID is this, then display it. That's it. Added. So total how many I added? 3, right? Now let me click on create widget. So what the third widget does, it display the read operations on the volumes, on the 3 volumes. See here. And if you are not comfortable viewing this, just you can click here, right? and it shows average 5 minutes, right? So that also you can change. Edit. So here see, statistic is maximum. What is the maximum read operations in a given 1 minute window, not like 5 minutes. You can change, and then you can click on update. Click here, it will display the maximum in a big window. You can see green color line belongs to 1225 volume ID, and 66F2 orange, blue, and all. And if you see this one, let me change this also to 1 minute. See, green color is server 102, the remaining two Docker and server 101. This is how you can create as many widgets as you can. The advantage of this is if I save it, I can log out also, no worries. The next day, whenever I log in, just simply I can go to dashboards. I can see the list of dashboards available here, and I can click this and automatically display everything. Whenever I see a single line spiking more than this, easily okay. And then I can click here and I can check green color, which is server 102, right? Server 102. And if I say maximum, it reaches almost 78 percentage, and then it dropped down. This is how you can monitor. And also I said we can use this. I mean, the CloudWatch is also providing you the alerting service, right? CloudWatch also provides alerting service, by using which we can trigger, or I can say we can send alerts whenever there is an alarm. Example, I want to receive an email alert whenever the CPU utilization is more than 70%. So here, what all metric is? CPU utilization, threshold 70%, right? And alert, send an email. Send an email. So how it works is, whenever the CPU utilization is less than 70%, then the state is healthy. The state is healthy. And whenever the CPU utilization is more than 70%, then the state will be in alarm. The state of that particular metric is in alarm. So how the alerting system works? Whenever the state is in alarm, CloudWatch will trigger an alert and send an email to the registered, or not the registered, to the subscribed email addresses, and to send this kind of notifications, we will integrate a service SNS with the CloudWatch. SNS stands for Simple Notification Service, which is subscription-based service. SNS stands for Simple Notification Service, which is a subscription-based service. What does that mean? Whoever subscribes to a SNS topic, they will get notified. Like whenever you're creating some new accounts, Amazon online store account or Flipkart account, there is a checkbox called subscribe to the newsletter or subscribe for offers, subscribe for like discounts and all, right? If you select the checkbox, then only you will receive those notifications. That's what exactly the SNS is. We will integrate that so that the subscribers will receive the notifications. Okay, so in the real time, we don't add individual email addresses to that list. We will create a distribution list like uh, cloud operations at the rate abc.com, and we will add all the employees' email addresses to that particular distribution list. So CloudWatch SNS will send an email to the distribution list called cloud operations at abc.com, and everyone will receive the same email. Okay, right. So now what I do is, let us create an alarm. Create an alarm for server 102 and create an alert to send an email whenever the CPU utilization is more than 70%. Whenever the CPU utilization is more than 70%. So let us see. While creating, we will automatically integrate the SNS also. More information about the SNS will, what we call that, we will discuss in the application services concept, where we can discuss SNS, SQS, SES. These are all of the application services. We will cover detailed SNS in that particular session. Okay. So first, what we have to do is just go to your CloudWatch, right? So here there is something called alarms. Click on all alarms and you can see if there are any existing alarms, but we don't have any alarms, right? Now I will click on create alarm. You want to create the alarm for which metric? So for which metric you want to create the alarm? Click on select metric. Then go to EC2, for instance metrics. And let me name metric name contains CPU utilization, right? Just filter, just apply filter instead of scrolling down everything. Server 102. Then don't click on select metric. Go to this graphed metrics, statistic maximum, period just change to 1 minute. Then click on select metric. And here is the important thing. Don't change the metric name. There's a default name. Don't change the metric name. So we are monitoring the CPU utilization on so and so instance ID. Statistic is maximum, period 1 minute, threshold is type static, greater than 70. Don't enter percentage because CPU is nothing but the percentage, right? And then click on next. When you would like to receive the notification, I don't want to receive if the alarm is healthy. Healthy means okay. Whenever the state of that alarm is in alarm, means whenever the CPU utilization is more than 70%, then the state of that alarm will be in alarm. Then I would like to receive the notification. Go to in alarm. So I will choose a create a new topic. I will say CPU utilization alert. Just you can use any name, that doesn't matter. And here you need to enter the email address to which you would like to receive the notifications. Then click on create topic. The topic got created. Right now scroll down, click on next. Name uh, server 102 CPU utilization. Just give some name, meaningful name. Click on next. So here you can see some red color line threshold. There is a threshold. Whenever this graph exceeds that threshold value, the state will be in alarm and immediately email will be triggered. If the CPU utilization is below this threshold red color line, no email alert will be sent. Click on create alarm. And if you remember, I mentioned that this SNS is a subscription based service. Means the moment once you create this, to that added email address, there is an email to confirm the subscription. Okay, so I will get into that. But in the meanwhile, see what is the status of the alarm? What is the state of the alarm? Insufficient data. It took some time, like 1 minute of time to gather all the information and to decide the state. After 1 minute, this will be either okay or in alarm, depends on the CPU utilization value. Okay, now just give me a second. Let me open the Gmail. Give me a second. Let me open my Gmail. Just I pause the screen sharing. I will resume it. So you have to check your spam folder also. Sometimes you will receive that into the spam folder. Okay, so here I can see AWS notifications, subscription confirmation. You have chosen to subscribe to the topic so and so. To confirm this subscription, click on or visit the link in below. Click on confirm subscription. Then only you will start receiving the emails about whatever. Okay, let me go back to the alarms. Let me refresh to check the state. What is the state now? Okay. Why the state is okay? Because the CPU utilization is less than 70%. Now what I do is I will go to that. Again, I will repeat the same procedure to increase the CPU utilization. Just open the browser and I will perform some action for at least 1 minute, because it will calculate it every minute the information will be collected, right? Okay, just opening the Microsoft Edge browser. What happened? Yep. And then I will open multiple tabs continuously. Here also you can observe already it exceeds 80%. Let me open. The time is like 152 in the server. I will open new tabs until 153 or 154. 153, 1 minute is enough. Just I'm maintaining the CPU at 100%, more than 70%. Yep, it's been 153. Let me minimize the things and let me refresh. Still it is okay. It needs to analyze. And in the meanwhile, what I do is I will go to dashboard. I will open the dashboard in a new tab, because we can see, right? Instead of going there, searching for the CPU utilization and everything, directly I can open the dashboard just to check what it is. So we are at CPU utilization, right? Okay. Not 5 minutes. I will go with 1 minute maximum. Okay, CPU is not yet increased. Okay, let me increase some more time. CPU dropped down to 68%. Every 1 minute, the information will be collected. If something happened, after 1 minute, you will receive the notification. And if you don't enable detailed monitoring, it will take up to 5 minutes. Okay, so let me check what is the CPU utilization. Green is server 102. We are performing that on 102. Yep. We must receive the notification, or else whatever we discuss and whatever we have done is completely wrong. Okay, so let me minimize just to check what is the CPU utilization, whether it is getting increased or not. Ah, it got disconnected because my CPU is like almost more than 100% and it was unable to handle that and system got crashed. I mean, after some time, if I log in, I can, but now it's busy. See, CPU exceeds 70%. At what time? This particular time, 7:23. At 7:23, the CPU is not 7:23. Wait. At this stage, 7:22, it seems. What is the point? 7:23. At 7:23, it exceeds 70%. Now, if I go to the here, what is the state? In alarm. Okay, let me click on report not spam. So let me go to here. See, server 102 CPU utilization, and you are receiving this email because your Amazon CloudWatch alarm something, some information, alarm details, server 102 CPU utilization. It changes from OK to alarm. Threshold crossed one out of the one data points. Means in a 1 minute, it has crossed 70% for one time. You can configure that three times also. Means in the given 1 minute, if the CPU is more than 70% for continuously for three times, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, three times, then only to trigger the alarm. That is also possible. Like while the first page itself, there is one thing called advanced, three of three. We set one of one. That you can say one out of sorry, three out of three or two out of three. Three times it checked in the next 3 minutes. If the CPU is more than 70% for two times, then it will trigger the alarm. That you can customize as per your requirement. You can customize. See, every 60 seconds it will check maximum CPU utilization for so and so EC2 instance. Okay, now it seems it is getting dropped. Once it is dropped to less than 70%, you can see immediately it got changed to OK. Whenever there is a OK, there is no alerts will be triggered. Okay, so this is about the monitoring. And also I said the CloudWatch can be used for log groups, right? I will show you. So here, same way in the logs, there is something called log groups. Click on that. But we never created any log groups, right? But why there are these many log groups? If you recollect in the RDS, every database instance what we created, there are some logs we selected, right? Where such logs got stored? In this log group only. See here. So this is about this one. This log group contains the information about RDS instance, which is replica 1. Replica 1 error log, not all logs, error log. Let me click on that. Then you can see some log stream, right? See replica 1. Click on that replica 1. If there are any errors, you can see these many errors. What is this? Plugin RDS security audit reported loggings. In every information, in NoDB initialization has ended. It got started, and so on. So parameter is deprecated. MySQL server started, and here something replica error correcting source. I guess at this point of time, we might have deleted the primary server. So it is unable to replicate from the primary server and received shutdown from user because once it got promoted, it will be rebooted. That see here, forcing close, and this is the user who got connected. Shutdown complete. MySQL server got started. Initialization started. Right, you can see. And let me go for a different log group. So that log group contain only the information about the replica 1 and my first DB instance. See, this is the my first DB instance. Just it has only one line, one information. Server IP address has could not be resolved. So then let me go for some clusters. Do we have any? Okay, my Aurora cluster, the one which we created in the day before yesterday class. See, in that cluster we have these many readers, right? One writer and three readers we created. Let me open this one. It contains the information about the reader 2 instance. See, these all are the logs. This is how the logs will be created. No need to log into the EC2 instance. No need to log into your application, everything. So you can see date and time, what happened. Date and time. And what happened? This is how the log groups can be used, right? Where whoever is working on like observability and all, they continuously use these tools. Splunk, I said, right? Splunk, this one, Paper Trail, SolarWinds, New Relic, right? These all are similar tools. These all are similar tools. And if you ask me, is there any monitoring tool like CloudWatch to monitor the metrics? Yes, there are n number. So something called Nagios. Have you ever heard about the Nagios? Actually, that was very popular. Nagios monitoring tool, where you can monitor the metrics. You can monitor the services status, whether the service is up and running or not, right? This is how. And something called Site 24 by 7. This is also monitoring tool, manage engines monitoring tool. You can monitor the resources, you can monitor services, you can monitor URLs, everything. And there are, I mean, depends on your usage. There are n number of monitoring tools. I think you might heard about Prometheus. That is also a monitoring tool, open source one, open source. But this is used for Kubernetes monitoring and all. Like if you are maintaining a Kubernetes cluster on a cloud, then you have to use this Prometheus and something called Grafana, not Graphite, Grafana. There are n number of monitoring tools available, but what monitoring tool you have to use in the organization, nobody can say. This Grafana is also like using this Grafana, the New Relic, which I showed earlier, right, which I mentioned the name, that was designed. This Grafana is open source. You can get that source code and you can design your own monitoring tool, or you can use the Grafana as is. Okay, right. So this is about the CloudWatch monitoring, log collection, and observability. Are you guys clear or any questions? Okay, and in the next session, we will cover Elastic Beanstalk. So we will deploy some kind of sample Java application or some Java or a Tomcat or a PHP, whatever. Let's deploy and we will check how Elastic Beanstalk can be used in the real time. Okay, instead of using like instead of a theory, we will deploy some sample code just to check how it works, how it looks like and all. Okay, how to update the code, everything we will see. I mean, coding update in the sense we don't do it. Whenever a developer designed a new code that has to be deployed, right? So how to deploy it, that we will cover in the tomorrow's session. Then the service name is Elastic Beanstalk. It's a platform as a service. Okay, right. Thank you everyone. We'll continue tomorrow.